Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. My dear friends and fellows, look, all of us want to be something, achieve something, but there are hurdles. And there are several types of the hurdles. The most common of all these is one thing that is called procrastination. And this procrastination is not external, it is rather internal. We ourselves are seen procrastinating the thing, the important things, the specific things which must be done. Procrastinating all that, so failing to do the things on time. And if at all I have to do it today, I will say I can do it in the midday. At the midday I shall like to say that will be doing it in the afternoon, and then maybe in the evening, maybe during the night, and then it will not be done at all. So that is called procrastination. I need to do it tomorrow, but I tell myself that I shall be doing it tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow, the next week, the next month, and that is all called procrastination. Procrastination is a very common behavior, and this very common behavior is responsible for failing to achieve our potential, for failing to achieve what actually we could have achieved. As for our talents, as for our capabilities are concerned, we are not able to fulfill all that for one reason, and that one reason is the procrastination. So procrastination is a very common problem which must be overcome. I think we definitely need to overcome it, and that one thing is called the procrastination. Let's look upon this procrastination, that what is the trouble here, how can we overcome it, how can we solve it. That is about today's topic is the procrastination and the overcoming of the procrastination, since it is the biggest ever hurdle on our way to success. And now let's look upon it, in a very detailed manner, that how can we overcome it, plus what is the rule of the self discipline as for overcoming the procrastination is concerned, or can we overcome the procrastination with the help of the self discipline. So this is something to be done. Now let's talk about this thing. First of all, we need to understand the psychology behind procrastination. First of all, we need to understand the psychology behind the procrastination. What is the psychology behind it? Generally, it is considered that maybe this person is not feeling it, that's why she is not doing it. Actually, the reason is there are three very common reasons why we are procrastinating something else. First of all, it is the stress. We remain under the stress in general, or about that particular thing. We start feeling the stress every time we are talking about this thing. We start feeling stress. Now the second thing is anxiety. That is, feeling anxious. Stress on the one hand, tension, mental stress, tension, one thing, and then anxiety, feeling anxious, not satisfied. That is the second thing. And the third thing is fear of the failure. So fear of the failure, if at all I do it, I attempt it, I will be failing it. So these are the three things which can be called the psychology behind the procrastination. This is the psychology behind the procrastination. And the second thing which we need to understand, what are the common misconceptions about procrastination. What are the common misconceptions about procrastination? It's not being lazy at all. It's not being lazy at all. Generally people think that it is big because this person is lazy, that is why this person is procrastinating. Actually, the laziness is not a reason. It's not being lazy, as laziness is not wanting to do something, because the laziness actually is not wanting to do something, that is called laziness. But the laziness is not here, but the procrastination is delaying something specific. Laziness, the difference between the laziness and the procrastination, the laziness is not willing to do, not wanting to do something. But as far the procrastination is concerned, that is delaying something specific. It is delaying something specific, and not actually the laziness. Also, some of the people think that it is the lack of time management. Even the time management is not a problem. Time management is not the reason here. So these are the misconceptions about the procrastination, that one person is unable to manage the time, or that another the person is the person is lazy. Neither the laziness nor the inability to manage the time, rather it is delaying something specific. And we have already talked about it is the stress, it is the anxiety, it is the fear of failure. And now the third thing is the rule of self discipline in overcoming procrastination. The rule of self discipline in overcoming the procrastination. We need to understand the rule of self discipline in overcoming procrastination. Self control is self control. Also, we need to understand the difference between the self control and the self discipline. The rule of self discipline in overcoming procrastination. First of all, we need to understand what is the self control. Self control is resisting the immediate temptation. Self control is resisting the immediate temptation, while the self discipline is a long term goal. It's about consistently working toward your goals. So that is the difference between the self discipline and the self control. Self control is resisting the immediate temptation, while the self discipline is a long term goal. It's about consistently working toward your goal. And now the fourth thing which we need to understand, how self discipline directly pro counteracts procrastination. How self discipline directly counteracts procrastination. Yes, self discipline is the superhero. We need to fight procrastination. It helps us focus on the big. Self discipline is a superhero. Self discipline, how self discipline directly counteracts procrastination. Self discipline is a superhero. We need to fight procrastination. It helps us focus on the big. So that is the number thing, that how the self, what is the rule of the self discipline here. Now the fifth thing is practical strategies for building self discipline. Now we are going to talk about practical strategies for building self discipline. you know what is the practical strategy for building the self discipline. We need to set the smart goals. What is this smart goals? The smart network. What is this, by the way? This is our goal must be specific. Our goal must be specific. It must not be vague at all. It must be clearly defined. Number 2, it must be measurable. That to what extent, if at all I want to achieve money, to what extent I want to achieve money. If at all I want to do a daily walk, how much of the walk I do need, mean how much of the time or how much of the distance. So the third thing is achievable, mean it should be a realistic one, it should be a practical one. If at all somebody is setting the very much unachievable and the unrealistic goals, I think that will be a failure. That will not be a right thing at all. Number 4 thing, out of the smart goals, is relevant. It should be relevant. Relevant mean whatever you need, whatever can bring the practical change, the practical improvement, whatever can bring the very much positive change and improvement in your life. It must be relevant. And the fifth and the last is time bound. Again, mean ke to I mean, what is the final date you want to have that thing? What is the final date you want to reach somewhere else? What is the final date you want to have this much of this degree, achieve this degree, or this much of the money? To what time you want to achieve? What is the time limit? So that is all. These are the practical strategies for building self discipline. Smart network. Specific, it must be specific, number 1. It must be measurable, number 2. It must be achievable, number 3. It must be relevant, number 4. It must be time bound, number 5. you know and it is now the sixth thing is developing a daily routine. Developing a routine, that is very much important. Developing the routine is very much important. Habits are powerful to help us automate good behavior. Yes, habits are very powerful indeed. They help us automate good behavior. Like creating a daily routine is critical here. Creating a daily routine is a critical here. It is, for example, you want to write a book and you have been procrastinating. Now you are advised to do it on a daily basis for a little bit of the time. Suppose that you want to write one page per day, and make a routine of writing one page. You want to write a book, and now tell yourself that I need to write one page on a daily basis, and this one page should be done as early as possible, not to delay it at all. Because if I delay it till the noon, and then from the noon to the evening to the night, I might not be able to write my page, not even one page. So if at all I do it first thing in the morning, or as early as it is humanly as early as it is possible for me, I think it will become quite achievable, and the day is not far away when I will be able to complete the book which I'm writing. So I think that creating a daily routine is critical. Creating a daily routine is critical for the reason, because develop because habits are powerful. They help us automate good behavior. They helps us automate good behavior. It matters a lot, really. Now the seventh thing is time management technique. Time management technique is also important. How can we manage the time? Okay, time management technique is very important indeed. Here we will talk about the Pomodoro's technique. Pomodoro's technique is terrific actually in many situations. And what is this Pomodoro's technique? It is 25 minutes of focused work. 25 minutes of focused work, and followed by a 5 minutes of break. But the break should not be at your workstation. It should be a bit away from there. And within 2 3 seconds, within the first few seconds, leave that place. Your workstation must be left. Go a bit away and enjoy a break of 5 minutes. Whatever you want to do, you want to drink water, you want to be in the washroom, you want to take tea, you want to share a joke with someone else, you want to listen a joke with someone else, you want to chat for a while with somebody. So that is after 25 minutes, the break of 5 minutes. And then do this 25 minutes of focused work and 5 minutes of break 3 times. Fourth time, when you go for a 25 minutes of focused work, then after then that you need at least a 15 minutes of break. And that thing, you can have a 5 session in this manner. First 3 sessions followed by the 5 minutes of break, the second 2 sessions followed by the 15 to 20 minutes of break. So that is the Pomodoro's technique. About the time management. Now the eighth thing is mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness and self. Whoa, there are two things here in the number eight: mindfulness and self-awareness. What is the mindfulness? Not to think much about the past. Learn whatever you can and keep this lesson with you. Not to worry and think much about the future. Not to not to, rather to focus on the moment. And once you are focusing on the moment, don't look here and there. Don't look here and there at all. Rather, focus upon yourself. That is, focus on the moment. Focus on the moment. Focus on the moment. That is called mindfulness. Focus on the present moment. Mindfulness actually mean here in English, if at all we go for the definition of it, it is a state of mind, a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting our feelings, our thoughts, and our bodily sensations. And this thing used as a therapeutic technique is called the mindfulness. So here in the eighth point, we are talking about the mindfulness. We have defined it, and then the second part of it is the self-awareness. What is the self-awareness actually? It is understanding your procrastination triggers. Understanding your procrastination triggers. We need to think well. We need to research well. Why do I procrastinate? Why am I unable to do this thing on time? Why am I seen postponing it, deferring it so often, so frequently? What are the reasons? So that is about understanding your procrastination triggers. And now the ninth thing we need to understand here is overcoming common challenges. Overcoming common challenges. What are the common challenges? By the way, there could be several, but we are going to and it varies from person to person. It varies from person to person. But we are going to talk about one thing which is common in almost every situation, in almost every cause, and that is dealing with the distractions are so much. We mean the things which does not allow us to focus and to concentrate. The things which does not allow us to focus and to concentrate upon our work, upon the work which we are trying to do at the moment. So inability to focus and to concentrate, whatever is the hurdle on this way, that thing is called the distraction. And that is the number 9. Number 10 is that maintain your motivation level. Mean keep yourself motivated, and that is very important. The 10th and the last thing is maintain your motivation level, and that is setting small rewards for reaching milestones. How can we keep ourselves motivated? How can we stay motivated? How can we stay motivated? That is very much important. That is why it has been kept at the end. The 10th and the last point, that is maintaining motivation. Setting small rewards for reaching milestones. Whatever milestone you have reached, whatever patch you have covered, whatever one stage of the work you have succeeded in accomplishing, then we need to reward ourselves, either with a kind of rest, with a kind, treat yourself, reward yourself whatever way you can, but it should not be addictive at all. It should not be addictive at all. It should be sensible, it should be reasonable, and that is we can stay motivated. uh, uh, Setting small rewards for reaching milestones can help. It can be of great help actually. Also, self compassion, being kind to yourself when you slip up is vital. Also self compassion, which mean being kind to yourself when you slip up is also vital in maintaining motivation. Self compassion actually mean that whatever whenever we fail, whenever we get a setback, whenever we feel inadequate, in that case, being warm, being understanding, being kind toward yourself, being warm, being understanding, being calm to yourself when we feel, when we suffer a setback, when we suffer a failure, when we feel inadequate. So that is something we have talked about, the that we have talked about the procrastination. That is very very important indeed. Dear friends and fellows, we have talked comprehensively about the self compare, about the over procrastination, and of course the role of the role of the overcoming procrastination with the help of with consistent self discipline. Thank you very much.